spotlight for our next speaker and turn it back over to you, Natalie.
Absolutely. And I love that we're now going to our next speaker, because we just talked about sitting and posture and what that does to us. So Tracy Revell, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. Other than that, shout me out. But we're now talking about confidence. We're talking about how we can regain our confidence, because Tracy is an expert in presence and confidence. And she teaches this to people across the world, how to regain your confidence. How can you be more empowered? And the rest you'll get from her, because otherwise I'll talk for an hour and then you won't get to hear Tracy. So Tracy, it's all yours. Tell us about confidence in change.
Confidence in change. Am I unmuted? I think I am. Cool. Fabulous. Confidence in change. So I have to just say it was brilliant that Denise put Anne right before me. I work a lot with body and posture and awareness, and literally how it shifts you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually when you consciously work with your body and how you're being in your body. So yeah, it's all kind of been an evolution from there, and part of my own personal journey. So confidence in change, embrace the power, is the idea of really developing this complete, absolute trust in yourself, right? And trust in yourself is not this ego trust. It is learning to trust the personal power, confidence coming from being connected to your internal and external guidance, right? Being that captivating, vibrant, sensual self that is sensual, simply means connected to and being in the world with all senses, right? And trusting that, living your life from that space in your body. Because our bodies are how our souls show up in this world. And most of us are just super disconnected and don't pay attention in any way, shape, or form. So embodying personal power and confidence. First of all, being in your body and being present, right? Like Anne was talking about, very important. So did that answer your question, Natalie? Okay, cool. So I want to start with a little bit of data for the really, the really data loving people. So it has been shown that 89% of kindergartners have high self-esteem. So we go into the school system knowing that we are amazing, gorgeous, brilliant, talented, fabulous beings. And it just is what it is, right? 20% of fifth graders actually still have that high self-esteem and belief in themselves. 5% of high school kids, 2% of college graduates. So we literally have it systemically programmed out of us to be confident, to have self-esteem, and to own that innate personal power that we come into this world with. So I was actually one of those kids. My mother died when I was 10. And my father was an absolute disaster. And me being who I am, my entire life became making it all okay for everybody else, right? And really, long story short, I started learning nutrition and movement. And I started teaching aerobics at 16 years old. So movement and embodiment and taking care of myself became a foundation in my life from the very beginning, and evolved from there. And then I started therapy at like 19 years old. So the first 19 years of my life was very much about, right, just kind of going along to get along. That's what we are programmed, is how we are supposed to be in this world. Just kind of like everything around us. Yes or yes? So the next 20 were about really coming out and owning my own power. And a lot of it was the movement and the continuous learning with self-care, nutrition, et cetera, right? So what is power? I know you guys have had notebooks from earlier today. Do you still have them? Cool. So what is power? If you want to write it down, or I actually do not know how to speak without interacting. So if you just want to share, what is power? What do you hear when you hear that word?
All right, power. Okay, Heather, go.
Feeling confidence in yourself.
Okay. What is confidence? Right? Yeah. It's these words that get batted around a lot, and we don't actually get clear with like what they are and how to embody them and implement them in our lives. So what is power? Anybody? Or what is confidence?
And Tracy, I'm just going to read out, we've got 2 comments here. Angelina is saying connecting to my intuition, and
Okay.
Sharon is saying feeling sure of what and how I'm doing.
Perfect. Okay. So power is also the capability and ability, if you will, to influence, right? Others, our lives, ourselves, etc. Right? And it's very much connected to that intuition. And what was the second comment? I can't pull up the chat with my screen share.
The other one was, there are more coming in. So Sharon was saying, you can all unmute yourselves too, feeling sure of what and how I'm doing.
Yeah. That's actually confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they might be responding to both now. So we also have Kathy saying strength no matter what comes. Noreen is saying have influence over the path of my life. And Carol is adding standing in my authentic, vulnerable self.
okay, cool.
That's
So
awesome sharing. Sorry.
yeah, this is why I don't know how to speak without interacting. Taking all of those, there is this little fine line. Personal power is internal direction with the absence of outside forces. I know what I know, right? And we all have something different that we know because of who we are, right? So the internal and external guidance that we get in our lives. Who believes in signs? Right? Yeah. Right? We also get spirit, whatever you want to, intuition, and it shows up in our bodies. And so paying attention to that, and then having the confidence, complete trust in ourselves and our personal power to move forward. Right? You see where I'm going with all of that? Cool. So what is your relationship to the word power? I'm so bummed I can't see the chat.
Well, I have a comment to make on that.
Awesome, Robert. Thank you. Yes, just unmute. Yes.
Okay.
Talk to me,
For
'cause
me, my superpower is I wrote it down here too, is the ability to maintain my inner strength and resist external influences that can make us feel bad or feel negative emotions.
Okay. So what would be, is that personal power for you, or what is that?
Yeah, it's personal power for me.
Okay, perfect.
Many people respond to what's outside of them. For instance, some
Cool.
people say words, or the other people outside of them are saying things, doing things, and then it makes them feel bad. And so who's in control? The people on the outside are controlling your emotions.
Right.
And so if you have that internal power where you can resist that, so you become more the observer and not the reactor. to
We
your
have,
world.
we have so many things around us that tell us what we are supposed to be, who we are supposed to be, what we are supposed to do, right? And most of it is part of that systemic control to fit us into, yeah, right? And in actuality, what if we really learn to listen to that internal instead of react to the external?
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. So again, you guys, what is your relationship to the word power? And you know, if it means something different to you than what I've said, cool. My understanding is capability and ability to influence yourself, your life, etc. What's your relationship to the word power? A lot of people are scared of it. What does it bring up in your body? What do you feel?
Tracy, you have two other people with hands raised. Carol was first.
And I can't see the chat, you guys. Natalie, will you deal with that for me, please?
Yeah, I didn't see that either. I
No,
apologize.
her hand is raised, and I just put her on a
Okay.
spotlight with you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you much. I'm really loving your topic. And for me, power as growing up, anybody in authority figure was way more powerful than me.
Right.
I had the intense sense that people knew what I was thinking and they were way ahead of the game and I was way behind.
Right.
And then I learned that there's such a thing as choice and that I can choose. And that changed my power.
Awesome.
I've been learning to stand in my power, but also knowing that I get the right to choose no matter what, who I am, how I feel, how I respond. And to me, that's power.
Awesome. Thank you. And yes, that is part of the systemic conditioning. Everybody else, especially authority figures, are more powerful.
Do you have time for one more? We've got Ann Asher who has a question.
Yeah. One more.
Oh, just a comment. So, yes, I love where you're going with it. I think I've gotten more clear about the power to influence both self and others. And I love what you said, Carol. And also, to me, it's a psychophysical experience because I've been doing, again, as I mentioned, a lot of yoga and sadhana type stuff, which is more internal. And I noticed that I'm a lot less outer focused because I have these techniques that I've done that change my focus to be more inner.
Mhm.
And so it's, I find you already know me, so it's definitely a mind body thing, but I just wanted to add that. So.
Totally. So that bringing your awareness to yourself and your body is personal power. So what you're doing is actually where a lot of my body work came from. I used to do a lot with posture and alignment and so forth and so on.
Mhm.
And again, I started personal growth when I was like 19 years old. So this is it's just an evolution of what I've done with myself, my clients, my business.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. So your relationship to the word personal power, like, again, what do you feel in your body when you hear the words personal power?
Are you asking me or everybody?
Everybody. You can answer in.
All right, I'll answer. It kind of depends. Like sometimes with the outer conditioning that you're talking about, I get this, and then with the inner stuff, I kind of be really very like, yeah, that feels good. And let's expand. And it's interesting that you brought that up because I wouldn't have thought of that before.
Yeah. So bringing yourself back to your body, to your posture, to who you are right here, right now, embodied, is the key to bringing yourself into your personal power and not being in everything that's outside of you. See, you've been doing all this stuff and you didn't even know it, girlfriend. What's your relationship to the word confidence? So, like I said, like I said earlier, somebody was like, you know, it's being confident in yourself or whatever. I get this all the time. It's like being confident. Okay, yeah, what does that mean? Right? We have all this stuff that's batted around in the personal growth world that people talk about all the time and don't really have an embodied understanding of. We stay in this really mental, figuring it out, surface level. What is it for you? How do you know it? How do you experience it in your life? What's your relationship to the word confidence? Are there any hands raised?
Yeah, there's Angelina was saying strong sense of self and allowing myself to express and use my voice with love unapologetically.
Boom.
And
Right.
then Noreen was saying confidence. Thank you for pointing that out so I don't misread the quotes. Trusting my own instincts, knowledges, and experiences.
Okay. Okay. So to me, that's a little more personal power, right? Does that make sense? Kind of, sort of, maybe. It's splitting hairs and taking those things and trusting them and acting too, right? Does that make sense? Or do you understand? Can you feel the difference? Fabulous. What does it feel like to you guys? Does that make sense?
Well, for me, I notice when you say personal power, what is personal power or what is confidence?
Right.
It's kind of like what Anne was saying, you know, it depends on the situation. And if someone says, what's your personal power? And I go, then I need to address that and feel that and resolve that and then feel the calm that comes with it afterwards. And then I'm in the pure power at that point, or I'm in the pure confidence. But so if there's anything that kind of stirs in me, I got to address that just so I can get to that pure calm afterwards.
You know, that is an amazing point. Most of my clients, when they really shift, will say they now experience confidence as calm, right? And that's not what we're kind of programmed, if you will, to think of as confidence. It's you know, the warrior, and it's not. It's the calmness and the I'm going to go change my life, right? And it's time. It is beyond time. We have gotten into this really interesting predicament due to the fact that people have forgotten all of this. We didn't do it on purpose. We had it systemically programmed out of us, and it's time, right? Belonging doesn't ask us to change to make everybody else happy. It asks us to be authentic. Who are you when all else falls away? So we are in a huge transition. We are way more powerful than we have been told to believe. And it's time to own your power and co-create a powerful, vibrant life. Yes or yes. Everything we think, and feel, we are. So again, everything about us shows up in our bodies in one way, shape, or form. Consciously learning to rewire this connection within ourselves, surrendering to what is. Most of us will take some kind of an information from the outside and we'll want to control it and change it to like what we want it to be, when in fact it is what it is, right? I mean, I have a client that's been with me for quite a while, and she has this relationship with this man, and she I mean, we've been doing this work for like 3 years now, so every once in a while she'll still do this thing, and she'll be like, but why? And I'm like, because it is what it is. He is who he is. Stop trying to make it something different. If you're cool with it, keep going. If not, stop. You're not going to change him, and you're certainly not going to make it what you want to make it just because you want to make it what it is. So surrendering is not giving up. it is seeing what's in front of us and not telling ourselves a lie, right? Learning how to embody and know, listen to the personal power. You will be shown the way through the change, the transition. Everything we think and feel, we are, and the knowing shows up in our bodies. Again, consciously relearning to tune in to this hardwired and making a few adjustments so that you're aware, right, will skyrocket everything in your life, personally and professionally, because as many people talk about, when you change what's inside, you change what's outside. If you change personally, you'll change professionally. Yes or yes. Do you all hear that over and over and over and over again? What if the key is actually in your body? So everybody sit up really, really straight and tall. Head over chest over pelvis, like Ann had us do. Yeah. Head over chest over pelvis and really feel your butt sitting on the seat. And the top of your head, the crown of your head lifting up and out. Not this. That's looking outside of ourselves for something else. Head over chest over pelvis, top of your head up and out, and really grounded right here, right now. What do you notice? What do you feel? What's there? And you're welcome to speak.
Well, I'll speak. I feel a flow. Just
Flow?
feels like a flow, an opening, a flow of energy.
Exactly. So what if physically your spinal fluid, the spine bones, your entire physical body, skeleton, muscles, et cetera, are in alignment? Also energetically, all your chakras are in alignment, heaven and earth are in alignment, right? Sacred geometry, it shows up in our bodies and in our posture. Yeah. Cool. Number 2, let your shoulder blades go into this. Okay. This thing that we tend to do. And I said this in a live the other day. This posture actually wasn't seen a lot before concentration camps. And now we see it all the time. So feel this. What does that feel like?
Constricted.
Okay. Beaten down.
Yeah,
It's like cowering.
Yes. So take the bottom pointy ends of your shoulder blades and let them, keyword, slide back on the back of your rib cage. Let the front of your shoulders open up. Do you guys know what Corvette headlights look like? How they go like that? Let them open up. Let the shoulder blades slide back, head over chest over pelvis, right? Now, what does that feel like? Anybody?
Expansive,
Cool. Heart open.
totally.
So in the very beginning of working with my peeps, this is one of the first things I have them do 3 times a day for 30 seconds, consciously bringing this posture in to shift whatever is going on and bring them present right here, right now to their body and their power. Okay? Now everybody stand up. Put your feet about shoulder width apart, a little wider than shoulder width, and up and out, right? There you go. What does that feel like? Everybody's moving their bodies. I love it. What does that feel like?
I can feel the energy moving.
Cool. Anything else? Expansive? Yeah. What if you're connecting to the all that is? Our bodies are an antenna. We just simply need to pay attention. consciously and radically taking your life and your health back into your own hands and looking for possibilities where you had no idea they were, truly loving your body. That means honoring, paying attention to your movement, checking your diet, shifting it. The things that we are told about diet are a lie. There's so much more, and every body is different, period. When you start to really dive in and communicate on a really deep level, it'll change everything. Biology of belief. Literally uncountable neuro connections in your body, and they're always looking for new pathways. Learning how to change your posture, how to be in your body, how to stay with your own internal power and knowing will physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually shift who you are being in this world. No question. Again, our bodies are how our souls show up in this world. We hold on to things in our bodies until we move them out, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Moving your body is crucial to healing your soul, period. So, how much time do I have? 20? 15?
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute. 12.
Cool, I was close. So again, circling back around, what is personal power? Does anybody have a little different understanding?
Alignment of body, mind, and spirit, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual connection.
Awesome. Yeah. Internal direction with the absence of outside forces. 4 agreements. Has everybody heard of it? Personal power, confidence, and faith. They're all connected.
Okay, that was 3. Personal power, confidence, and faith.
Oh, 4 agreements are on the right side.
Okay.
I can go over them if you want. Again, I start with all my clients to really teach them to embody and incorporate the 4 agreements. Impeccability with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Now, here's the deal. Everybody goes, oh my God, I love that book. Do you actually know and embody, live the 4 agreements, or do you have this mental understanding, which is what most of us have, right? So choosing to have faith and live your life listening to your personal power and with integrity with yourself. So how much more powerfully, and again, if you guys want to write it down or just dialogue with me, amazing. How much more powerfully would you move through transitions and change if you acknowledge and accept there's so much more going on than you want to see?
It would be a game changer.
How about that? Anybody else? Something to think about, though.
And also a lot easier too, I think.
Oh my God, right? We make it so hard. But again, we've been taught to make it hard. We really have. It is programmed into everything that we have in what's outside of us. So again, personal power is self-esteem, faith, confidence, and it's a reflection of who you are at your core. And we're all different. What does it look like for you? Doesn't matter what it looks like for anybody else. So again, having the personal power at your core, being able to trust it and put it into your life, guts and grace. What if you could move through transitions and change with guts and grace? What does that feel like? Scary or invigorating?
It can be both. It's scary, but it's still, there's still growth in there, and it's still invigorating even through the scary.
Awesome. I will also say that fear and excitement are the same chemically in the body. So we get to choose. People with a strong sense of personal power just rock their lives. So, and again, for time's sake, maybe do some writing about how you might be sabotaging your own personal power, confidence. I don't think we have time to go into all of this either. Feminine power is personal power. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about what the feminine is, and it is truly listening to that internal direction. Emotional intelligence, I think we touched on that earlier. And combining it with the intellectual intelligence, the internal and the external in your life, right? Masculine, feminine. So not a big fan of the word balance. I am a big fan of the word integration. Guts and grace. So life happens, and there's nothing so certain as change, transition, and transmutation. It is your responsibility to stay centered and grounded in your power, not anybody else's to help you. Transmutation is the action or instance of converting one element into another. Transition, change. Embrace the power of coming from this to that. Listening and then taking action. When people embrace the feminine, the heart-centered, the emotional intelligence, and then they take smart, decisive action, that's where you rock your world, right? So love your body, rock your life is one of my sayings. And it is not just the accept your body where it is. It is the listening and the communicating, and then taking what you find with that into the rest of your life. Love your body, rock your life. Powerful and successful. What that means for you. And let go of what everybody else tells you it should. People living with that integration, more sure of themselves, and they also have more to offer outside to everybody else. Again, our souls come here in these bodies. Our bodies are how our souls express ourselves. Tune in, take action. So again, for time's sake, probably want to journal on this. I don't know, do we have time to dialogue, Denise?
We have time for questions and answers.
Well, does anybody want to share what would change if you spent more time in your embodied committed to true self-love. Again, not an airy-fairy out there concept. Self-love is choosing what's best for you, second to second, minute to minute, day to day. And then self-confidence, trust in self. Noticing when you're this and choosing to come to this. Anybody? Any insights with what could change in your life? You don't have to share, you can write them.
I can share. I
Okay.
keep sharing though. Everything changes. You know, how you interact with people, how you handle them, the calm, the people around you change in a positive way.
Totally.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Personal power, feminine power, presence. Our presence in the world is a reflection of the internal integration. People see everything about us, whether we want them to or not. So be you, show up, own it, love it, live it. People see it anyway. Your outward presence reflects your internal abundance and authentic core competence. So what are you doing to nurture each one of these areas? Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Again, they're interconnected. There's a lot of people that want to ignore the body and fly around out in space with the spiritual, and you can't do it. You can't do it and really rock your life. You also can't ignore movement and nutrition and rock your life. Surrender. Again, it's not giving up. Surrender is, okay, I know what I know. I'm going to listen, whether I like it or not. And I'm going to go from there. So really quick, touch on some of how my body of work has evolved. Some of you know that I've been really dark for the last 3 years. I got really sick. Really unfunctioning sick. And I kept trying to figure it out and trying to figure it out. And I had to just let go of everything I thought I knew. And that's whenever I figured out what was going on. That's also when I started finding ways to heal. I was not doing my business for a very long time. In fact, this is my first speaking gig in 3 years. And I used to speak like every week, at least once. So the embodied competence tools, being open, having to completely let go of any victim, meaning wanting somebody outside to give me the answers and or take care of me, paying attention to my body, what she was telling me, right? Being open to finding out what I don't know. I have a completely different understanding of the entire world, of my body of work, which I knew from the very beginning. I was told there's a lot more to this than you know. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew there was a lot more to this than I knew. And I have a bigger picture of it now. And I had to be completely taken down because it was going in this direction I was coached to go in, and it was not what I was supposed to be doing. So surrender. And here I am. Intention, attention, action. intention is, all right, I got nothing. Where am I going? I'm going. So how many more possibilities would that create in your life? If you truly live from that space. And everybody is going to have a story about you, and everybody's going to tell you what you should do and what you should believe and how you should do this. And it's your responsibility to stay centered and grounded and listen to your personal power, regardless.
It's awesome.
So let's end. Go back into the closed down posture. Now, what does that feel like?
Squished.
Yeah.
Let your shoulder blades slide back and down. Let your heart space open. Let the shoulders, front of your shoulders open up towards the ceiling. What does that feel like?
More open. I can breathe.
Right. Yeah. Calming, open to intuition, emotional intelligence, allowing in growth possibilities, learning, increasing that body awareness connection, right? This is strengthening the confident neural network and weakening the fear neural network. The closed down is the fear, and the programming and the protecting us from what's outside. What if you could stand in who you are regardless of what's outside, consciously? Go through all of that because we don't have time. So again, feminine and personal power. The way you carry your body is a source of personal power, and being aware of it, creativity, confidence. And then, like you guys said a second ago, changes what's outside of you, people around you, right? Love and appreciation. I tell you what, I didn't have great people who had my back in my life before I got sick. When I got sick, I'm creating a whole new entire life, new people, whole thing. Moving on. So just for you guys here today, I will send you this PowerPoint and an accompanying workbook that I made. And it's free for everybody that is here today through the end of Transitions 2021, tomorrow. And I'll do a complimentary confidence clarity session with you just to see what shows up for you.
It's awesome. You put that information in the chat box so everybody can take advantage of it?
Sure, absolutely. So that said, do you have the guts to live your life with grace and come learn more?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, everybody show their appreciation to Tracy. Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. As always,
Thank you.
magnificent, my friend. Great. You need to go back and read all the comments in the chat box.
You.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's a lot of really, really good comments in there.
Mhm.
And absolutely, we appreciate you doing this today. Tracy will be back with a short presentation tomorrow because Tracy is one of our sponsors, and she's one of our executive sponsors, which gives her some time on the agenda. So she'll be back tomorrow for tomorrow's Wellness Fair, right?